The strange noise at midnight, asterisk, it was a quiet night. The sky was dark, and the stars were shining. Alex, a 27-year-old man, had just moved into his new apartment in the city. He was tired from unpacking boxes and organizing furniture. The building was old but peaceful. Most neighbors seemed normal, except for one. The apartment next to his had a locked door. No one came in or out during the day. No one had seen the person who lived there. The landlord simply said, "He's quiet, keeps to himself." Alex didn't think too much about it until midnight. That night, he was lying on his bed, about to sleep, when he heard a strange noise through the wall. It was not music. It was not talking. It was a low humming sound, followed by short clicking noises. Like a machine, or maybe an animal. He sat up in bed, eyes wide. "What the hell is that?" he whispered. The noise stopped. Silence followed. Then a flash of green light appeared through the small gap in his curtain. The light was soft, but very bright. It came from the window of the apartment next door. The color was not normal. It looked alive. Alex walked slowly to his window and peeked through the curtain. He could see only a little, just enough to notice that his neighbor's window was wide open. Strange symbols were glowing on the wall inside, floating in the air. He stepped back, heart beating fast. "This is not normal," he said to himself. The next morning, Alex went to check his mailbox in the hallway. As he turned the corner, he finally saw the person from the apartment next door. The man, or what looked like a man, was standing near the stairs. He was tall, slim, and wearing sunglasses, even inside the building. His skin was pale, almost silver in the sunlight. He smiled when he saw Alex. "Ah," the man said in a calm voice. "You must be the new neighbor." "Yeah," Alex replied slowly. "Apartment 204. And you are?" "I am Zarnak," the man said. He reached out to shake Alex's hand. Alex hesitated. Something about the name felt strange. But he shook the hand anyway. Zarnak's skin felt cold and a little sticky, like touching a frog, but he smiled kindly. So Alex didn't say anything. "You moved in recently?" Zarnak asked. "Yeah, just yesterday. Heard some weird sounds last night. Was that from your place?" Zarnak nodded calmly. "Yes, it is my season." "Season?" Alex asked, confused. "Yes," Zarnak replied, tilting his head. "Mating season." Alex blinked. "Wait, what?" Zarnak smiled again, showing perfect white teeth, a little too perfect. "It is natural. Do not worry. I will try to keep things quiet. Humans are sensitive to sound, I understand." Before Alex could ask more, Zarnak walked away. Climbing the stairs without making a sound, Alex stood there for a moment, frozen. Did he just say mating season? That night, Alex couldn't sleep. His mind kept thinking about the way he talked, the way he looked. Something was not right. He remembered the green light, the strange symbols, and the sound like clicking claws. He finally fell asleep round to a.m. in the morning. Alex felt tired and hot. His body was sweating. He went to the bathroom to wash his face and saw something shocking in the mirror. There were small green glowing spots on his neck, like tiny dots. They were not there yesterday. He touched one. It didn't hurt, but it was cold, like ice. Panic filled his chest. He checked the rest of his body, a few more spots on his shoulder and arm. "What the hell is happening to me?" he said aloud. He picked up his phone, ready to search online, but stopped. What would he even search? Green, glowing skin spots after neighbor talks about mating season. No one would believe it. He looked out the window toward Zarnik's apartment. The window was closed now. No green light. No symbols. Just silence. Alex closed the curtain. He knew one thing for sure. This was not going to be a normal week. Something strange was happening, and it had just begun. Alex stood in front of the mirror again, staring at the green glowing dots on his neck, trying to calm himself, but his mind was racing with thoughts. He had not seen anything like this before, and he had no idea what it meant. He splashed cold water on his face, hoping it would make things feel normal, but nothing felt normal anymore. The scent was the next thing he noticed as he stepped out of the bathroom. It was not strong, but strange, sweet, and metallic at the same time. Like flowers and rust mixed together. It was not coming from the kitchen or hallway, it was coming from him, his own skin. Alex walked to the window and opened it wide, letting in the morning breeze. But the scent did not go away. In fact, it seemed to spread more around him, as if it was alive, like it wanted to be. Noticed his phone buzzed. It was a message from his coworker, Jen, asking if he was coming in today. Alex hesitated, then replied yes. He needed to pretend things were fine, at least for now. In the subway, people stared at him more than usual. Someone even moved away after sitting beside him for a few seconds. Alex noticed their nose twitching and their face showing confusion and maybe fear. He tried to cover his neck with his collar, but he could feel the glowing still there, pulsing softly under his skin. At the office, Jen wrinkled her nose the moment he walked in. She leaned closer, sniffed the air, and stepped back with wide eyes. "Dude, you wearing some new cologne or something?" she asked, half joking, half serious. Alex forced a laugh and said, "Yeah, something like that," but Jen kept looking at him, her smile fading. "You okay?" she asked. "You look a little pale and your eyes are kind of shiny." Alex shook his head and said, "I think I'm just tired, didn't sleep much last night." Later in the day, he went to the bathroom again to check the spots, but this time he saw something new. The spots had changed. They were no longer just dots. Now they had thin lines connecting them, forming a pattern like vines crawling over his skin. It looked unnatural, like a tattoo, but glowing softly from within. He touched the lines again. No pain, just cold, and a strange feeling deep inside, like something was waking up, something not human that evening. He returned home, avoiding eye contact with everyone in the building. As he climbed the stairs, he felt a warmth growing in his chest, his heart beating faster. As he reached his door, he realized Zarnok was standing there waiting, calm and smiling, like nothing was wrong, his silver skin glowing slightly in the hallway. "Light hello neighbor," he said. "You are glowing nicely." Alex froze. "What do you mean?" he asked. "What is happening to Zarnok?" Tilted his head slowly, like he was studying a plant or a pet. Then he stepped closer, his voice soft and smooth. "Is the scent? It is part of the process. I did not know it would affect you so quickly. Your body is reacting faster than expected." "What process?" Alex asked, his voice shaking. "What are you doing?" Zarnok looked almost sad. "I am not doing anything to you. It is your biology responding to mine during the mating season. Our species releases a scent to communicate and to attract. We usually do this among our own kind, but you were close enough for the bond to start. Your cells are listening to me now." Alex stepped back, hitting his own door, his hand on the knob, ready to run, but he knew he could not escape this. "Not now. I don't want this," he said. "I'm human. This is wrong." Zarnok nodded, and for the first time his face showed something like guilt. "I understand," he said, "and I am sorry. I should have warned you, but I thought you were immune. I thought your kind would not respond. Now I see I was mistaken." Alex unlocked his door and stepped inside, but before he could close it, Zarnok said one last thing. "You will begin to dream now. The bond works strongest through the mind. Try not to resist too hard, or it may hurt you." Alex shut the door, breathing hard, and leaned against it, shaking. He could still smell the strange scent in the air, sweet, metallic, and heavy, like fog sitting on his chest. That night, as he lay in bed, the scent seemed stronger inside his own pillow, inside his own skin. He closed his eyes and tried to sleep, telling himself this was just a dream, a strange dream, nothing more. But when sleep came, he found himself standing, not in his room, but in a forest under a green sky. Everything was glowing softly, and the air was thick and warm. He looked down and saw his arms glowing with patterns, vines moving slowly like they were alive. Then he saw Zarnok in the distance, standing tall and bright, with wings made of light, and his eyes burning softly like stars. Zarnok raised a hand and spoke in a language Alex did not know, but somehow understood. "You are already changing. The choice is no longer yours." Alex screamed, but no sound came, and then the forest swallowed him whole. The air inside Alex's apartment felt heavier than before, like something invisible had settled on the walls and floor, and even in his breath, the strange scent from Zarnok still lingered in every corner. Sweeter, now thicker, like honey left too long in the sun. He hadn't left the apartment since the dream from the night before. His legs refused to move. Far his heart kept pounding, as if some part of him knew it was dangerous outside, yet the silence was worse than any noise, and so was the feeling of being watched. The message came in the morning just after sunrise. His phone buzzed with a single line on the screen. "We need to talk about your neighbor." There was no name, no number, only those words glowing on the screen like a warning. He stared at it, confused. Then a second message arrived. "Come to the parking garage. Now do not tell anyone. Bring your phone. Leave everything else behind." Alex hesitated, but the pressure in his chest was growing heavier by the second, like something was pressing down from inside his ribs. His fingers moved on their own, grabbing his jacket and keys, as if his body no longer trusted his brain to decide. The parking garage was cold, and empty shadows stretched across the concrete, and the echo of his footsteps made him feel small. A black van was parked near the corner, its windows tinted, its engine silent. His side door opened, and a man in a gray suit stepped out, his face hard, his eyes hidden behind dark glasses. He held a small metal device in one hand and motioned for Alex to enter the van. Without saying a word inside, the van lights were dim. A screen lit up on the wall, showing Zarnok's face frozen in a surveillance shot from what looked like weeks ago. Text scrolled under the image. Lines of alien symbols mixed with English. The man finally spoke, his voice low and firm. You have been exposed to a Type 7 entity. We believe its name is Arnok. It is not supposed to be here, and it has broken several codes. Alex stared at the screen, then back at the man. What do you mean exposed? He asked. What codes? What are you talking about? The man held up the metal device and scanned Alex's body from head to toe. It beeped softly, and the man nodded, as if confirming something he already knew. The scent is in your system, the man said. It is changing your biosignature. Your DNA is no longer fully human. Alex felt the words hit him like cold wind. He grabbed the seat, trying to stay upright. This can't be real, he whispered. This is insane. The agent turned off the scanner and looked at Alex with a face that showed no emotion. We have seen this before, rarely, but it happens when the bonding process begins. Unintentionally, your neighbor is from a species that bonds through scent and proximity. And once it starts, it cannot be undone without risk. Alex's hands trembled. What risk? He asked. What happens if I don't stop? The agent paused, then said slowly, the bond completes fully and permanently. Your identity, your body, your thoughts, even your instincts may no longer be yours, and if the entity chooses you as a mate, you might not survive the merging processes. Alex leaned back, his mind spinning. He wanted to laugh or scream or cry, but all he could do was breathe fast and shallow. The scent was still there, faint, but growing stronger again. Can you stop it? He asked, his voice small. Can you get it out of me? The agent shook his head. We can slow it down, but only for a short time, and that time is already running out. Another screen lit up, showing Zarnok leaving the apartment last night and disappearing into a dark alley. His shape changing as he walked, shifting and stretching into something inhuman, something tall and glowing with sharp edges. He is entering his final phase. The agent said if he chooses you, you must reject the bond completely, mentally, emotionally, physically, or else the process will finish with or without your consent. Swallowed hard. What does that mean? How do I reject something that's inside me? The agent looked at him with a flicker of sympathy in his eyes. You fight it, or you let us extract you, but be warned, the extraction process may cost you your life, or your mind. Alex closed his eyes for a second, trying to think, trying to breathe, trying to remember who he was before this, before the green lights and glowing vines and dreams of alien forests. But that version of him already felt far away, like a photograph faded under sunlight. He opened his eyes and stood up slowly. I need time, he said. I need to talk to him. And then the agent nodded once, but handed him a black card with no name, only a small green triangle on it. Hold this when you are ready, and we will come for you. Alex left the van and walked back to his apartment in silence. The air outside felt colder now, the sunlight too bright and sharp, as if the world had tilted slightly off-center. When he reached his door, he found a small envelope taped to it. No name, no writing, only a faint green glow leaking from the edges. Inside was a single leaf, not from any tree on earth. It pulsed softly in his hand and released a small breath of scent into his face. Alex blinked and saw the forest again. Just for a moment, Zarnok's voice whispered in his mind softly, gently like a breeze through tall grass. You are not alone anymore. Alex woke from dreams that felt more real than waking life, his body trembling with strange energy, every bone and muscle buzzing with something electric, every breath pulling in more of that alien scent. He sat up and saw his arms glowing in the half-darkness, the green lines spreading from his neck across his shoulders, winding down to his fingertips like living vines on a tree. His fingers trembled as he touched his face, the cold sensation still there, the green glow shifting softly under his skin. He stumbled to the bathroom and stared into the mirror, searching for his own face behind the alien patterns. The person looking back was familiar but different, his eyes reflecting soft light in the dark irises swirling with faint color, his skin now showing not just spots but connected lines forming symbols he could not read but somehow understood. He tried to scrub them off with water and soap, but the glowing only brightened when wet, the lines pulsing gently like veins filled with light. His heartbeat echoed in his ears, and with every beat, the lines grew thicker and more detailed, as if his body was painting a new story onto itself. Knock at the door snapped him out of his panic. He wrapped himself in a hoodie and stepped quietly into the hall, finding Zarnok standing there, no longer hiding his silver skin or glowing eyes. Zarnok's voice was low and soft, like distant thunder. It is time. You must come with me now. Tried to protest, but his legs moved on their own, following Zarnok down the empty hallway, out of the building, into the cool morning light. His senses sharper than before, every sound louder, every smell clearer, every shadow deeper than human eyes could see. Zarnok led him through alleys and side streets, stopping finally at a small garden behind the building filled with plants that Alex had never seen before, green and silver, and blue leaves curling and uncurling in the breeze, the air heavy With the alien scent stronger than ever, sit here, Zarnok said, and Alex obeyed without understanding why, his body reacting before his mind could question, his heart racing with fear and something else. A hunger for answers, or for something he could not name. You are transforming, Zarnok said gently. The bond has begun, and your body must change to survive. You will be stronger, faster, your senses sharper. But you must choose to accept or fight. Alex stared at his hands, glowing brighter in the garden light, feeling the power growing in his bones and muscles, but also the fear growing in his mind. What happens if I accept, he asked, voice shaking. You become something new, Zarnok answered. Not fully human, not fully me, but a hybrid, your old self. Fading, a new self rising. And if I fight it, Alex asked, hoping for another way you may break the bond. Zarnok said, but the pain could destroy your mind or body. The process is ancient, designed for survival, not comfort. Alex looked up at the sky, wishing for answers, but only the green clouds moved above him, shifting in patterns he almost understood, as if the sky was trying to talk to him in the language of dreams. Zarnok sat beside him, unfolding long silver limbs with delicate grace, his form shifting slightly in the light, not quite human, not quite alien, his face open, and honest. My species bonds for life. We share mind and body for survival on our home world. The ritual is sacred, dangerous, and beautiful. Many do not survive it, but those who do gain more than they lose. Why me? Alex whispered. Why choose a human? Zarnok paused, his eyes glowing softly. Your scent called to me, your mind is strong. I did not expect the bond to begin, but now it cannot be undone without risk. To us both, Alex felt a surge of strange emotion, not love, not hate, but something deeper, a need to understand, and to be understood, as if his mind was reaching out to Zarnok. Without his permission that night, in the garden, the transformation deepened, his senses bursting with new colors, sounds, and tastes, the world alive in ways he had never imagined. He heard insects breathing, saw leaves growing, smelled the water in the air around him. His heart thumping in a rhythm that matched Zarnok's heartbeat, as if they shared the same life. The pain came suddenly, like fire under his skin, his body shaking with heat, and cold muscles twisting as new strength poured into his veins. The green lines brightened, blinding him for a moment, then faded, leaving his skin smooth and cold to the touch. Zarnok held his hand through the worst of it, his touch steady and calming, his voice a gentle anchor. When it was over, Alex lay on the grass, staring at the sky, the symbols on his skin now glowing softly in the night air. He felt exhausted, but stronger, more alive than ever before. Zarnok looked down at him with a small smile. You survived the first wave. Your mind is strong. You can still choose your path, but you must act before the final phase begins. Alex sat up, feeling his new strength humming inside him, but his thoughts racing with fear and hope. The world around him changed forever by what he had become. He looked at Zarnok and saw not just an alien, but something like a friend, or maybe a guide, someone who understood what it meant to change. The wind carried the alien scent across the garden, and Alex breathed it in, no longer afraid of what was happening to him, only curious about what would come next. Clouds rolled overhead in twisting colors that Alex had never seen before. The sky seemed wider and deeper, as if the transformation inside him had changed, even the daylight outside. Everything felt sharper, each movement of the wind making his skin tingle with new sensations, each sound carrying secrets that whispered just beyond understanding. The garden felt like another world now, and Zarnok's presence was no longer frightening, but familiar. Alex sat in his room that evening, studying the black card given by the government agent, its surface cool and smooth between his fingers. The green triangle pulsing like a silent warning, each second stretching longer than the last. He wondered how much time he had left before the changes inside him became permanent or uncontrollable. Each heartbeat a step closer to something unknown. He stared at his reflection in the window, watching the green lines on his neck and arms glow. In the city's fading light, the symbols seemed to move with his breath, like living words telling a story only he could read. His thoughts kept circling back to the idea of escape. The agent's words echoing in his memory, fight it, or let us extract you, but either way the risk is yours. Zarnok knocked softly on the door, his voice gentle as always but carrying an urgency that Alex had never heard before. There is not much time left. We must act before the next phase begins. The bond is almost complete, and soon I will not be able to help you resist its calorics. Felt the hunger growing again, not for food, but for something deeper, a need that reached into his bones and dreams. He opened the door and followed Zarnok down the hallway, each step sending sparks of energy up his spine, his senses wide open to every sound and shadow around him. They walked together through the city streets, moving quickly and quietly. The world seemed different now, too. Alex, each human face blurred around the edges each building, tilting in the corner of his vision, the green lines on his skin hidden beneath his jacket, but pulsing in time with his heartbeat. Zarnok led him into a narrow alley, where an old steel door waited half open. Side was a small room filled with strange objects, shapes and lights that Alex did not recognize alien. Artifacts arranged on shelves and tables. Glowing softly in the darkness, in the center sat an object that looked almost like a box, but alive, its surface shifting and pulsing with color and light. "This is a relic from my world," Zarnok said, his fingers touching the box with reverence. "It can slow the bond and maybe help you escape it, but the choice is dangerous for both of us. If you use it and fail, you may lose your mind or your life. If you succeed, you will still never be the same." Alex stared at the relic, its lights drawing his eyes deeper until he felt like he was falling into it. Voices from his dreams, rising in his head, the forest, the symbols, the strange language all mixing into a single thought: escape or surrender. He reached out and touched the surface, cold as ice, and then suddenly warm as fire. Images flashed in his mind, endless green fields, cities built in the sky, creatures flying on wings of light, the memory of 1,000 lives that were not his. Zarnok watched closely, his voice now barely a whisper: "You are stronger than you know. The bond has chosen you for a reason, but your will is your own. If you run now, you may survive. If you stay, you may change forever." Alex pulled his hand back and took a deep breath. The relic's images fading from his vision, replaced by the sharp reality of the room. He felt his own heartbeat slow, and his thoughts clear a little. "This is not my home," he said softly. "I cannot be what you are. I want my life back then. We must move quickly." Zarnok replied, "The government will come soon. They are tracking the changes in your body and in mine. They will not wait forever." A sudden noise outside made them both freeze, footsteps echoing in the alley, voices speaking in urgent whispers. Alex felt the fear rising again, but this time it was different, sharper, more focused, a survival instinct, stronger than anything he had ever felt before. He grabbed the relic and hid it inside his jacket. Zarnok shifted his form slightly, becoming less human, more alien, his eyes bright and fierce, ready to defend or escape. They slipped out a back door and into the tangled maze of city streets, moving fast through shadows and crowds, Alex's senses guiding him in ways he did not understand. Hearing every footstep, seeing every possible exit, feeling the green lines under his skin. React to danger behind them, the alley filled with the sound of running feet and shouted commands. The government agents searching every corner for signs of the alien and the human now running for their lives. Mind raced with questions and fears, but something inside him had changed. He was no longer just a victim or an experiment. He was something new, a blend of human will and alien instinct, stronger and faster than he had ever been before. As they disappeared into the night, the relic pulsed against his chest, its light hidden but burning with possibility. Alex knew the escape was only beginning, and that the true challenge was still to come. Night crept over the city with an uneasy quiet, as if the air itself waited for something to begin. Shadows stretched longer in every alley. Windows flickered with green light that only a few could see. Somewhere far above the clouds, a signal pulsed, invisible and ancient, its rhythm matching the beat of two hearts. Alex moved through the city with Zarnok at his side, the relic heavy against his chest. The green lines under his skin were brighter than ever, now burning with a light that felt alive. Each step forward made his senses sharpen even more. Every sound seemed layered with hidden meaning. Every scent carried the memory of alien forests and skies that never belonged to Earth. They entered an old building on the edge of the city, its walls humming softly, the world inside feeling different, as if reality had thinned to let something new through. Doors opened and closed behind them, with no one touching them. Lights flickered as they walked, until they reached a wide, empty room. At the top floor, the walls painted with symbols Alex recognized from his dreams. Zarnok faced him with eyes that glowed in the darkness. "The moment has come," he said. "The signal from my people grows stronger. Soon I will not be able to control the call. You must decide now, Alex. The bond is ready to complete, but your choice can still shape what you become." Alex stood in the center of the room, feeling the relic pulse against his heart, the hunger inside him rising like a storm. He saw his own reflection in the glass, a stranger looking back. Green light swirling through veins and eyes, a question forming that no language could speak. Outside, thunder rumbled and lights across the city began to flicker. Animals cried out in the distance, their voices echoing in the night, as if warning the world of what was coming. Alex felt his heartbeat sink with Zarnok's, the pull between them stronger than gravity, a tide that could not be denied. Zarnok stepped closer, his form shifting between human and alien wings of light flickering at his back. each movement sending ripples through the air. The bond calls to you, Alex, but you must answer with your whole being. Only then can you survive what comes next. Closed his eyes and let the sensation fill him. The alien sent flooding every thought, his mind slipping into memories that were not his own. Running through green jungles, swimming beneath foreign moons, he opened his eyes and saw Zarnok, not just as neighbor or stranger, but as a force of nature, old and powerful and lonely suddenly. The room shook as a wave of energy swept through the city, every electronic device sparking every screen. Flickering with the image of green vines and swirling symbols, people stumbled and fell as their minds caught a glimpse of a world beyond their own. For a moment, Alex felt every heartbeat in the city, every breath a song of life and fear mixing. Together, the relic grew hot against his skin, and Alex knew the moment was now. He raised it high and spoke words that rose unbidden from deep inside his new self. Not English, not any human language, but a sound that made the air shimmer. The relic responded with a burst of green light flooding the room. Zarnok reached for Alex, their hands meeting in the glow, their bodies shifting and merging at the edges, light and shadow twisting around them, the bond surging through nerves and memory. Alex felt his body trying to change muscles, stretching senses, exploding with new information, pain and pleasure tangled together as the alien instinct fought with his human will. He remembered the agent's warning, the risk of losing himself, the price of merging with something beyond his world. For a moment, he felt himself slipping away, a thousand voices crying out in his mind. The urge to surrender, almost overwhelming. But something inside Alex refused to let go, his will, burning brighter than the alien hunger. His memories of home, his dreams of family, his stubborn hope that he could survive this and remain himself, all these things held him together as the relic's light spun fast as Zarnok cried out, as the bond strained between them both, teetering on the edge of something final. The city around them shook as the signal from space grew louder, the green light pouring through every window. Every heart threatened to burst with the force of that ancient call. Alex pushed back with everything he had, focusing on the relic, on the symbol of his own choice. He shouted his own name into the storm, and the green light twisted, snapped, and then shrank back into the small object in his hand. Suddenly the world fell silent, the room went dark, and Alex collapsed to the floor, gasping. Zarnok stood above him, breathing hard, his wings flickering, then fading into his body, their bond flickering like a dying spark. Opened his eyes and realized they were not alone anymore. The walls around them blurred and changed, shifting into a place that looked nothing like the city, an alien court with beings watching in silence, the relic cold and quiet in his palm. The mating night had ended, but something new was only beginning. Alex found himself standing on a surface that shimmered with blue and silver light. Every step echoed across the vastness of a chamber that stretched beyond sight. The walls pulsed with shifting patterns, and eyes, not human, watched from every direction. The relic sat cold and silent in his hand, its glow swallowed by the brightness of this strange world. Every movement felt both heavy and light, as if gravity and thought were being rewritten by unseen force. Zarnok stood nearby, his form now entirely alien, tall and elegant, with wings like living crystal. His voice reached Alex not through sound, but through the mind, a steady presence cutting through confusion and fear. You are here because our bond has changed everything. You crossed a line between worlds that few have even seen, let alone survived. The court of elders stood in a ring around them, their bodies made of living energy, their faces ever-changing flickers of memory and knowledge that Alex could not fully understand. They spoke in voices that sounded like wind and water, mixing with echoes of thunder. You have broken the ancient rules by forging a bond across species. The price for this is not written in any law, for this has never happened before. Alex tried to speak, but the words tangled in his mind. He felt their curiosity and judgment pressing against him, waves of memory and expectation tumbling through his thoughts. He wanted to protest, wanted to explain that he never chose this, that the changes began without warning, that he was only trying to survive. But in this court, words were not enough. Every memory and feeling was visible, as if painted in the air for all to see. Zarnok stepped forward, his wings brushing the air. I take responsibility for my actions, he declared, his thoughts clear and strong. I did not intend for the bond to form. I did not foresee the speed or strength with which it grew, but I did not stop it. I let my loneliness guide me, and for that I stand ready for judgment. The elders turned their gaze to Alex. He felt them searching his memories, sifting through dreams and hopes and fears, their voices twined together. You have proven strong of mind and heart. You resisted the bond when many would have been lost. You protected your sense of self and chose compassion over violence. Yet you are changed now. You cannot return to who you were. The bond is inside you, in every cell, in every dream. We cannot remove it without risking the loss of your life, and mind you must live with the consequences of your crossing. Silence stretched between the beats of time. Alex saw flashes of his own future possibilities, branching in every direction. A life alone, on Earth marked forever by alien lines, a life spent hiding from those who would fear or hunt him, a life of adventure or sorrow. Nothing was certain anymore as Zarnok knelt before the elders, his wings folded, his mind open. In surrender he did not beg for mercy only. Offered truth. I ask only for one thing. Let him choose his path. Let the bond be a link, not a prison. The elders conferred, their voices rising and falling like a song without end. After what felt like eternity, they spoke again. The link will remain, but it will not bind you against your will. You are free to return to your world. Your body changed your destiny, unknown you. And Zarnok will share a connection, but your choices will be your own. Alex felt a weight lift from his chest, replaced by a new kind of heaviness, the freedom to choose, but also the responsibility of that choice. Zarnok's mind touched his gently, a warmth spreading through him. Thank you for your strength, for your hope, for refusing to become what you feared you saved us both. The chamber began to dissolve around them, the walls of light fading to darkness for a moment. Alex floated in silence between stars, and then the world snapped back into place. He opened his eyes to find himself in his own apartment. Morning sunlight pouring through the window. The relic sat beside him, humming softly, green lines still visible on his skin, but softer, now more a part of him than before. Outside, life moved on, the city unchanged by what had happened. Alex stood and felt his body respond with new strength, a hum of energy beneath every motion. The bond with Zarnok, a quiet presence, always there, not control but connection. A message blinked on his phone, no name, only a single line in glowing green letters. The season will return in 7 years, be ready. Alex smiled, a little unsure what the future would hold, but certain of one thing: he had survived. He was changed, but he was still himself, and for now that was enough. He looked to the sky, and for the first time saw not only the stars, but the endless possibility of what lay beyond, knowing that he was part of a story that would never truly end.